This table represents a quadratic function. Which statements about this function are true? So what we got to do is we got to look at the data and then see what do we notice that's true. Well, it says that the A is negative, so the vertex is a minimum. Oh, okay. So let's try to identify the vertex. I know what the vertex is. Do you guys know what the vertex is? What x comma y value is the vertex based on the graph? Remember, the vertex is the minimum or maximum value, but it is also the point, or it's the point in which the axis of symmetry occurs. So numerically, my vertex, it goes through the point 5 comma negative 5. How do I know that? Because everything is symmetrical about that numerically, right? What I mean by that is, look at these points here. Over here, I have a negative 3. If I go up or down, depending on how you look at it, over here, my y value is a negative 3. If I move to the next point, away from the axis of symmetry, I have a positive 3. And over here, I have a positive 3. So it's symmetrical. So remember how we said the axis of symmetry makes the left-hand side look like the right-hand side? Well, in the table of values, it makes the top look like the bottom. They mirror each other. So then the vertex probably occurs at 5 comma negative 5. So then it says A is negative. Is this the minimum value or the maximum value if that's the vertex? In other words, the vertex is either going to look like, the vertex can either be graphed like this, and then way up here would be a maximum, or it can be graphed like this, and this would be a minimum. So we could sketch this out, but let me show you how to do this on your calculator. So go ahead and get your calculator and turn your calculator on. Okay? And once you turn your calculator on, I want you guys, see this button that says Stat? First of all, go to y equals and clear that out. Okay? Go to y equals and clear everything out. Once you've cleared out y equals, hold your calculators up like this so Mr. Adams can see that you've cleared everything out. This is the clear button. Go to y equals, hit clear. Let me see your calculators. Okay, good. Now, see this button that says Stat? Can you guys see that? All right, click on that. You'll get a screen that looks like this. We're going to choose Edit. Does everybody see that on their screen? We're going to select Edit by hitting Enter. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter in the values into the table just as I see them on the question. Okay? So I'm going to enter these values in. Let me make it real big so you guys can see what I'm doing. So my first x value is 1. I'm going to hit 1, then hit Enter. My next x value is 3. My next x value is 5. My next x value is 7. Then I hit Enter. Then my next value is 9. So I have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Now, all I'm doing is copying this stuff right here and putting it right here in L1. That's my list 1. Okay? Now, if I move the cursor to the right, it takes me to L2. So just move the cursor to the right. Now, what do you think I put in there? What do I put in? I'm going to put in a 3. So I'm going to put 3. What do I put in next? Negative 3. Next. Yep. And then negative 3 again. And then 3 again. Notice that what I have up here is exactly what's in the table of values. Okay? Are you guys ready to be shocked and awed? All right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take our handy dandy calculator. I'm going to hit the second button. Hit the second button. Then where it says y equals, you see how it's in blue? It says stat plot. Click on that. You should get a screen that looks like this, and it'll say plot 1 off, plot 2 off, plot 3 off. I'm going to turn on plot 1. I can't see that from here. You're good? Okay, good. I'm going to turn that on. So if I hit enter, see how on is flashing? If I hit enter again, well, bam with the bacon sizzle, I turned it on. Now watch what happens when I hit graph. Once you get the plot turned on, if I hit graph, what? You think this is a game? You think I'm playing around? Well, here's what you want to do. You can hit zoom, and there's a thing here. See number 9? It says zoom stat. That means it's going to zoom into whatever you enter into those lists. Now it looks like that, right? Okay. All right, so now that we know what this kind of looks like, let's take, I'm going to take a picture of it and put it in your notes. This is what my graph looks like. So they're just asking us what's true. So is that opening up or down? Well, I said open. Let's talk about the terminology. It's opening up. In other words, if I were to draw the graph, I see what you're saying by saying it's going down. But if I were to draw the graph through these points, it would look like this. But it would go on forever this way. So it's opening up, but opens up. This is our what? What's the fancy word for this? Vertex. Is that a minimum or a maximum? That's a minimum. The reason we call it the minimum is this is going to be the lowest y value. Where does that occur? 5 comma negative 5? Okay, good. Now, what do we know? Do you guys, if I wrote this in the standard form, in other words, if I said y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, what makes the graph open up? It's either A, B, or C. So let's start with the letter. One of these letters will give us a clue. A. If A is positive, in the fancy math way to say A is positive, we say it's greater than 0, right? Mr. Adams, why are you saying it like that? Well, think of a number line, right? If this is my number line and this is 0, and I say that A is greater than 0, then I'm talking about all the numbers to the right, which are all positive. Okay. Now, if A is positive, then my graph will open up. What causes it to open down if A is negative? So when option B says the value of A is positive, so the vertex is a minimum, guess what? That's true. It says the value of A is negative, so the vertex is a maximum. If A is negative and it opens down, yeah, that's true, but it doesn't pertain to this question, right? Right? It says about this function. We got to be careful. We got a graph of this function. It opens up. Okay, so lastly, D says the value of A is positive, so the vertex, again, A is positive, but it would be a minimum, not a maximum. We see that because we graphed it. Okay? Any questions on that one?